Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to continue working on our wildflower bunches. So if you'd like the pattern, you can find it in the description below in my Etsy shop. Or if you're here just to learn the techniques and stitches, that's perfectly fine too. So in this video, we're going to learn the lazy daisy stitch, which is going to be obviously doing our daisy flowers. We're going to do French knots, which will be a hydrangea, and then we're going to dabble in with the satin stitch on our beads. So if this is your first time here watching this series, you can find the playlist up here in the right hand corner that will list all of the videos that we have done in this series so far. And if you are new here, I want to personally welcome you. I'm so glad you're here. And let me introduce myself. I am Jacque with Jacque Russell Creates, where we talk about everything quilting and embroidery. I give tips, tricks, and techniques so you can conquer that next project that you've been dying to make. My embroidery patterns go into my quilts, but you are more than welcome to use them as just hoop decorations, hoop art. I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know the next time I upload another stitching technique or a quilting technique. So until then, let's get started working on the lazy daisy stitch, the satin stitch, and the French knots. Okay, so we're going to work on the pink flower, pink daisy, which is right here. We're going to do the lazy daisy stitch. And so I have my pink thread, which is 3326. It's knotted. And we're going to come up and then you're going to poke down right beside. So you're going right down beside where you came up. You're going to leave a loop, and then you're going to come up where draw your loop line is. And I like to pull my thread toward the way I want my petal to go. And you're just going to lightly pull it so it gives you that open space. And then you're going to poke down over that thread to secure it down in place. So you come up at the bottom, pull it all the way through. You want to pull it pretty tight, but not too tight that you're pulling your other ones. Then I hold it with my thumb, go down beside, kind of pull and leave a little loop, come up on your line, in your loop, pull your thread toward where you want your loop to go, and then go over and back down. So one more time, the bottom, and don't be afraid to move your hoop so it's comfortable for you to work on and be able to go in the direction you want it to go. So lightly pull it. So this is what happens if you pull it too tight. You're not going to have the open petal look. So I'm just going to pull it back out a little bit. And then re-pull it, leaving a little loop, and then tack it down. It does not have to be 100% on your lines because you're going to iron them or heat them off. So you're going to do your petals for your daisies in the daisy stitch. You're going to do these little flowers here in the lazy daisy stitch. These are going to be in the green for the stems. This is a branch as well, so it will be green. And then of course you're going to do your bee wings in the lazy daisy stitch. So I'm going to finish this flower up with you. Okay, so here it's not comfortable for me. I'm going to rotate my hoop around. And I'm holding my thread coming up. And now I'm pulling away from me because that's how I want this petal to go. And then poke it down. One last petal. And there is the lazy daisy stitch on the daisy. So you'll do the same thing with your leaves and the other petals. To finish off, I just go under a few stitches and tie my knot. We're going to work with that same flower, and now we're going to do the French knots. So we're using 742, 3 strands. What I like to do is come up near the bottom where you were working on those lazy daisies. Come up, pull it all the way so your needle, then I hold the thread in my left hand and I'm going to take my right hand with my needle and I'm going to bring it under and wrap it over 1, 2, 3 times, and then I'm going to poke down, similar but not right on top of where I was at. And you're going to fill in this whole space with little French knots. The hydrangeas, which is the circle and the oval, I do with 6 strands. You can also do this with 6 strands. And you want them kind of close together. And so I go around the outside and then work my way around. So I come up, hold the thread in my pointer and my thumb, and then I wrap 3 times, 1, 2, 3, on my needle and poke down and then pull through. And I just keep going around until it's all full. Right? You can wrap it 2 times, you can wrap it 1 time. It's all on how you want your design to be. I'll do one more here on camera with you. Okay, so now we're going to do the satin stitch, and I'm going to do a whole bead with you. We're using the 744 yellow, 3 strands. So we're going to work on this little bee here, and we're going to, I like to come up in the middle-ish of my design that I'm doing the satin stitch. And it's just a straight stitch, but you're putting them side by side. So you're going to come up and then you're going to go straight down and pull all the way through. Then you're going to come up by the top stitch that you did. And I work from one side to the next until that whole area is filled in. Just putting one stitch beside each other and it's laying flat, so you're just filling it in. And the reason it's called a satin stitch is because it looks like satin the way the thread or floss lays down and looks in the light. So I'm just coming up. So if you come up on the outside of your line, then that's what you want to do all the way. If you come up on the inside of your line, and you want to make sure that you continue to do the same thing throughout the whole design. Okay, so you have that side done. I like to run my thread back through on the bottom. And now we're going to go to the other side. So you can do these with big patterns or small designs. You're just filling in that area. And if it comes to a point, you just make your stitches a little smaller until you get to the end. And then you fasten it off. And what I like to do is just run my needle down through some of them stitches and then come up, because you can feel it's pretty tight through there. I don't tie knots, I just run it through and then snip it off. Then we're going to take our black, which has, I'm using 3 strands. Black is 310. And yes, we covered up the lines for the black, but you know, just kind of, you could do a straight stitch right over that yellow. 2 spots to give it the striped. And then for the antennas, they're just straight stitch. And I'm going to tie that off just like I did the yellow. We're just going to go through some of those stitches. And come back. And then snip it off. And then the last thing is to do the lazy daisy stitch for the wing. So we're gonna come up near the body, hold my thread because I'm going that way, come down, leaving that loop, come up on the line, pull it in the direction I want, go over and tack it down. And then we'll do the same with this guy. And tack it down. So I would love to see what you do with these designs. Feel free to send me a message showing me what you do. The lazy daisy on the wings are 6 strands. So I hope you got something out of this video, that you learned how to do French knots, getting them mastered, the lazy daisy stitch, and the satin stitch. If you learned something, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with your friends. Be sure to hit the subscribe button when I come back and show some new stitches that I am just now learning, that I'm very excited to be teaching you. Coming up on screen is a playlist that will show you all the techniques from this video, or from this playlist of this series. If you want to know how I did this from start to finish. If you want to support this channel, maybe check out my Amazon store or buy me a copy, the link in the description. And also coming on screen is a playlist that YouTube feels that you may be interested in. So until then, happy quilting and embroidering, my friends.